I'm Chris Enstad. I'm the lead pastor at Good Shepherd. My role is to oversee the staff and the direction and vision and monitoring and leading us in how we fulfill our mission as a congregation. My call as a pastor is long, but the short version is God really got a hold of me when I was serving people on the border of Juarez and Mexico and El Paso, Texas. Just to be there, building homes with the families that were going to live in them for a week at a time. That's when God finally kind of cut through all of my lack of direction and said, this is where you're supposed to be going. My earliest memory was 20 years ago when I arrived with my newer wife. We were only married for a year, to interview to be an associate pastor. And I remember Pastor Swenson driving me out to a cornfield in Verona saying there's going to be a church here someday. And I remember going, are you kidding me? There's nothing around here, which kind of kaleidoscopes into my most recent first memory, which was making that same drive 4 years ago with Carrie, and having almost the exact same conversations on, is this where God's calling us to be? And Carrie turning to me and saying, this feels like it could be our home. The moment that I would love to relive, if given the opportunity, would be the first time I walked up to the peak of Mount Humboldt, 14,000 foot mountain in southern Colorado, and seeing the glory of God's grandeur laid out in front of me for the first time, and how small I was and how big God was, just took my breath away. My biggest contribution to our community life is on hold right now, which is I love officiating at swim meets. And that's a good way for me to give back to my community, but also I see so many of the people that I live and work with on the weekends, and so we definitely have been missing that this summer. And then I also volunteer when asked at my daughter's school, and all the other fun things that people with the kids in this community get invited to do. You know, generally I don't want to order stuff that I don't think people will like, but if we're going out to dinner and I'm in charge of ordering, everybody's going to get a spring roll. I love spring rolls. I guess my hope is that Good Shepherd continues to have the courage to live into the mission and vision that we've been given by God, to stay rooted in our faith, even as in crazy times, to stay connected to each other, even though it's been harder to do that recently. I think the connections that we share with each other are even more important now than ever. But where I really see Good Shepherd wanting to go and gathering the courage and figuring out the conversations is how to be connected, even in a more deeper way, to our community. And so what does that look like is what we're learning right now as we look at a church that's 2 locations, 1 congregation, and that are firmly rooted in 2 communities that have people that may not look or talk the same or have the exact same socioeconomic backgrounds, but all generally have the same questions about life and God and faith.